Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Your host, Mike Slane, joined with co-host, the one and only Mr.
Woohoo!
Mr. Woohoo, David Dodge over here. Dave,
hey, guys.
how are you?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whatever time of day it is for you, good day to you.
That's what's so cool about podcasts. We record whenever we feel like it. You get to listen whenever you feel like it. It is awesome. We love podcasting. We love listening to podcasts.
Oh! Yes,
new studio, new gimmicks.
That's right.
I like it, man. So what are we talking about today, Dave?
Man, today I have an awesome topic. This topic we don't have to go into too much detail on it. You know,
Okay.
maybe this is a 10 to 15 minute type of episode here today, but it is very, very important. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with consistency. So consistency is the message today.
Okay.
That's going to be the name of the show. It's just going to be consistent, persistent action.
I like it.
Equals success. It's a formula. All right. So, and in the last episode that we did, we talked about running appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And I had briefly mentioned that, you know, running the appointment's a small part of this business. You know, like I would say, you know, marketing is the foundation if we were to build a house. The appointment to me is kind of like the plumbing and the electrical. And then the follow-up is everything else. It's the studs, it's the drywall, it's the paint, it's the shutters, it's the roofing, it's the fixtures. And that's kind of how I look at it. So, you know, without marketing, nothing else happens. Nothing else is possible. Running the appointment isn't even necessarily required. In some cases, you can buy houses sight unseen. You can hire someone else to do it.
Virtual wholesaling.
Virtual wholesaling,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of people do it without
Or,
even going.
you know, we can FaceTime sellers, right? I mean, but running the appointment, you know, is good to build rapport, make a friend, and solidify yourself as the expert. You know, it reduces the seller from wanting to go elsewhere and get quotes from competition, so on and so forth. But again, don't overthink the appointment. Just, you know, go on those, be nice, make a friend. Keep it simple, right? But what really matters, and maybe you'll get some deals closed on those appointments. Mike and I do. We love closing deals on appointments. It's basically the best time and place to get a contract signed in their house at their table.
Well, it's the whole point of going.
It's the
You're
whole point of
trying to
going.
buy the house, right?
So don't forget that, of course.
Get that contract signed. if you
However,
can.
you're not going to get contracts signed every time unless you are just a pro at this business. And it's going to come in waves. You may get 2-3 in a row. Sometimes you may not get one for a couple of weeks. It's just kind of how it works. But what is more important than trying to get a deal right then and there is having a consistent plan for following up and staying in touch with these sellers and staying in contact. So do everything in your power to get it signed. That's not what I'm saying here. Don't mix up my message, right? Go on appointments with the intention of leaving with a signed contract. But I can tell you right now, you know, it's just not going to happen every time. So to me, there's nothing worse than spending money on marketing, our money, time analyzing deals, setting appointments, them not being able to make a decision because they may not be the decision maker. They may have partners. They may have brothers and sisters that are also owners. They may have power of attorney. Maybe complicated, right? Maybe there's a property manager that's in place or a loved one. I mean, who knows? But oftentimes it's impossible to get a deal signed on the appointment. And if you put in all that time and work and money and cost and effort and blah, 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 and then you don't make an offer, you're like shooting yourself in the foot. You might as well just take your money out of your wallet and light it on fire right now. That's the way I look at it. So you have to be consistent with all things, right? Most importantly, I think, is marketing, but that goes without saying. So the topic of this particular episode here is going to be consistency and follow-up. So what are some of the ways that we have automated but really more importantly than automated, because REI Black Book helps tremendously, tremendously. But there's other systems that we put into place and processes to make sure that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and or light our own money on fire. We don't want to do that. So we have some simple processes that keep us from forgetting to follow up. REI Black Book helps a ton.
So REI Black Book, again, if you guys are new to the podcast, haven't listened before, go back. We've got a great interview with Josh Aris. He's from REI Black Book, and we share, or he shares rather, a little promo code from us. It's reiblackbook.com/DPI, and they'll waive the licensing fee,
which is $1,000.
But REI Black Book is our CRM. So that is, it's basically the heart or the engine, I'd say both, of our business. It's got all of our leads are in it so that we can then go and follow up with them. It reminds us to do it when we need to manually do it. It does it automatically with text, with ringless voicemails, with emails. All those things you can build out and customize to your liking. So REI Black Book's really, really cool. So it really does put some of this consistency and follow-up just on autopilot for you.
Yeah,
once you build it out.
You have to have the consistency. So in the beginning, before we had REI Black Book, what were we doing and what should you be doing? It's simple, guys. Just, you already spent time and effort and money to get your phone to ring or cold call, text out, whatever, door knock. So you've already spent time and money doing that. You've already spent time, maybe money too, running the appointment, analyzing the deals with the softwares, right? If you can't get the contract signed right then and there, start by finding out who the decision maker is. Get something in writing, either a letter of intent or a contract, and get it to them. If they don't sign it right away, no problem. Follow up. All right? You can follow up in so many ways. You can do it by phone call. You can do it by text message. You can do it by RVM. You can do it by direct mail. You can go knock on the door. I mean, there's so many ways. I prefer to call or text, and so does the team. It's the simplest and the cheapest.
One of the things I used to do, and we still do it occasionally, is I will resend a contract as a follow-up.
Oh, I'll do it by email. I'll just send it over and over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a method of follow-up, is saying, hey, did you see the contract? You ready to sign yet?
Yeah, do you have any questions about the contract?
A lot of times people say, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm just not quite ready yet. That's a perfect one. Resend the contract with new updated dates. Hey, here's that contract again whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah. What doesn't sit easy about it? I'll change that. Let's have a conversation about that, but yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons and there's a lot of ways. So that was one of my favorite things. I just like to resend the contract.
Oh, yeah, you got to.
I mean, there's no reason not to.
But you got to be consistent. So that's what you should be doing. Now, get a system like REI Black Book or find something similar, guys. We don't, you just have to have something. REI Black Book's what we use, and we highly suggest you use it. It's not the cheapest platform out there, but it's going to be it is the best by far for disposition of real estate investments, period. It is also very, very helpful for acquisition of real estate investments. And that's what we're talking about today, the follow-up. So you can create automations in here to automatically call, text, or send a ringless voicemail or email or even agreement to these sellers every couple days, every week. Not only that, but you can create tasks and notes. And that's really the main thing, in my opinion, that a CRM does, right? Yeah, it builds websites and it has phone numbers and it has all this other bells and whistles. Great. Got to have that stuff too. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to take detailed notes and create a task for either you or somebody on your team to look at that lead again. What has happened with this lead in the past, right? Because we're looking at it again today. Where do we go from here? Again, we've spent money on marketing and time on appointments and negotiating maybe and contract sending, but we don't have this deal yet. So what can I do next? So having detailed notes will say, okay, I saw Mike did the appointment 3 weeks ago. I see that somebody on my team, Dennis, Travis, Megan, whoever, sent them a contract 3 days after that. And I can see that we've been calling every 4 days to reach them. Calling's not working, right? So I have a task today to follow up with that person. And I've seen what I've done, so let's change what I'm going to do. And it's simple things like this that will help you get deals. So calling's not working. Let me send a text message. Let me send another email to that individual, right? These are ways to go about it. Let me maybe go over to their house and knock on their door if needed. Or I know that last time I talked to Jim, he was waiting on Susan, his ex-wife, to talk this through before he could get to me, right? So I may reach out to Jim to see if I can help with that matter. Or I may even, if I get permission from Jim, call Susan and ask her if she has any questions or concerns that I can help alleviate. But it all comes down to being consistent with that follow-up, right? You're just solving problems. So automate that process by putting tasks in place that will remind you, or even one step further, get a virtual assistant, a partner, a local assistant, and put the tasks on their plate.
I can't even really imagine not having REI Black Book or the CRM remind us what to do anymore, Dave. Like
and this is what it looks like when you do that. You just have a bunch of paperwork.
I just can't.
Right,
even...
and you're like, well, this is a lead. This is a lead. This isn't leads here, guys. This is actually building permits. But this is what it was. And when we started,
I remember when you started, you had notebooks.
I had folders, and I had 3 folders. It
was a mess.
I had the new leads that have came in. I have deals that I either have appointments for or that I'm analyzing, and then I had my follow-up. And before I switched over to REI Black Book, my follow-up folder was that thick, and my consistency was going down the drain. And that's when I realized I need.
It was so hard. So, again, point being, it doesn't really matter if you're going to scale up your business. Definitely consider a CRM like REI Black Book. 100% you need it. If you're just kind of doing this part-time, dipping your toe in, maybe you don't need it, and that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. The idea is not to sell it to you.
You can hodgepodge it. I mean, I remember when I would just put to-dos on my calendar. So it would just be like, oh, call this person back, and I'd throw it out there a week.
Yeah, if you're a part-time person doing this,
that's
a couple appointments a month or even a week, that may work. But once you start spending money on your marketing, and that's really when you're going to go from being, just a hobbyist to a real investor, and deals are going to start getting done and they're going to happen, is whenever you can take the leap and start spending some money on your marketing. Once that happens, you can quickly get overwhelmed without a system in place to help keep track of it all, but also remind you or your team to follow up with those people. There's nothing that I hate worse than, squandering leads.
Yeah, just wasting money. It's just wasting money.
Right.
Yeah, and again, we're not going to win every lead, even with the very, very strong follow-up game that we have. We still aren't going to close every deal that we could, and that happens. But we're going to try to make the most out of every opportunity. We're going to try to buy as many houses and help as many people as we can. And yeah, the follow-up is the key to that. And we are very, very, I would say, very good at it. I mean, not to brag, that's probably one of our strengths.
I mean, that's the main thing that we focus on besides marketing. I wouldn't even put one in front of the other because they're both equally important. Without marketing, nothing matters. You can't do anything unless you just have, all the free time in the world to cold call, cold text, which we do as well. That works, but we're lazy, right? Yeah. We want the leads to come to us, and that's why we like to spend money. Also, it's very difficult to scale your time. It's very easy to scale your budget, assuming you're doing deals. So, going from 2 hours a day to 4 hours a day in cold calling is great, right? By all means, if you have the time, you should do that right now. Stop listening to this. Go start cold calling. Seriously. But if you have the ability to scale your budget, your life's going to get easier. You're going to work less. And you are going to get the people that are truly motivated, that your message speaks to, reaching out to you. So it's going to really make your life a little easier. So be consistent, guys. That's the name of the game. There is a simple formula, and it's basically my favorite quote, and it is basically this: consistent, persistent action equals success. And that's it. It's that simple. Don't give up. Don't quit. Be persistent. And what better way to consistently be persistent other than setting systems in place to help you automate that process. If you're looking for a CRM, go check out REI Black Book. That's what we use. It's amazing. It's not the cheapest one out there, but it's the best. Save yourself $1,000 by waiving the license fee by going to reiblackbook.com/DPI, which stands for Discount Property Investor. It's our initials. And other than that, get out there, do some marketing, and get your follow-up game in place. Because if you don't, you are going to be throwing money away, and I'm going to just feel terrible for you.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like,
share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, please visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support, and remember, you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.